When they would return from these schools, they had no knowledge of taking care of livestock or working in the fields or doing the things that would sustain our people. Our Dene, when they came into the greater portion of the Southwest way back in our past history, it was in the Colorado Plateau area, and it was a very large piece of land at that time. And the things that they had to know was the ways to survive out in this part of the country. And so it was that it involved hunting skills and farming skills and knowing how to do all of the things that would help them to survive as families and groups of the tribal members. And so it was that the teachings and that were involved were helping the young people to learn how to do the hunting and the planting and anything else that was necessary to know. And this was before the arrival of the Europeans after 1492. But when those Europeans arrived, it was the Spaniards that came first. And the Spaniards, of course, brought with them horses and cattle and sheep and goats. The domesticated animals were very important to our people. And so when they raided the Spanish settlements and ran off these livestock, they began to acquire these sheep and goats and horses, cattle, and they took care of them. And it was not unusual for some of our early Dene after 1492 to have thousands of the herd of sheep in that. And they used the sheep in so many different ways. Besides providing the food, they also provided the wool. So many skills, new skills, had to be learned to take care of the livestock that would provide all of the things that our people needed. But then again, after a period of time, our people encountered the other Europeans, which were the white people, and that's after the 1700s, and even into the 1800s, when they began to look at this portion of the continent as lands that were possibly available for expansion. And so our people then went to war with the United States. It was after the signing of the peace treaty of 1868 that one of the articles in the treaty was that our people would be provided education by the government, and it was the Dene responsibility to send their children. Chief Manuelito sent a couple of his sons off to these boarding schools back east, and while they were there, they both died, and it was a very sad experience. And then some of the kids and children, when they would return from these schools, they had no knowledge of taking care of livestock or working in the fields or doing the things that would sustain our people. And so most Dene were very disappointed. And so it was that many of them didn't want to continue sending their children to school, and they would hide them. And it was that it was believed that if they didn't go to the schools, the government schools, they would learn how to take care of livestock and learn how to survive and learn all of the things that they needed to know in their traditional teachings and traditional ways, because these were things that they needed to know. And so it was that was the way it was done for many years. So today, in these modern times, I encourage young people to read, of course, read all you can, and but also I have to say this, there's a lot of technology in that can be harmful to you today, such as iPhones and iPads. If you keep your head in front of a screen like that, you're going to miss the opportunity to have a lot of relationship. And I think that everybody is aware of that. And I share with you this information about the importance of education and the way education was in the past. And those are the things that we are told.